Eileen Veilleux The Fam here. Today I would like to teach you another technique that you can use to help relieve your stress, anger, or anxiety, or all three of them. As you know, we already went through one technique, which was gameplay that you could do on your tablet or your phone if you have an Android. That game was made specifically for the purpose to relieve stress, anxiety, or anger. Today we're going to go over a second technique, which is called the penny walk. And all you need, as you can see, is a pair of walking shoes or comfortable shoes of your choice and a penny. And I have a penny here. Okay. And the way we're going to do this, it's called the Penny Walk Challenge. And the reason why it's called the Penny Walk Challenge is because I am putting this challenge forth to you. That's right. You out there. Because we all suffer from stress, anxiety, and anger from time to time. But those that have to fight it on a daily basis, we need more than one technique or more than one way. Now, you know, in my series, I've covered many different mental illnesses. I've done the interviews for them, but I have not gone through and covered a lot of techniques in dealing with the day-to-day stresses that you have with these mental illnesses. So that's what I would like to do now. As I said, we've already went over one, and this is going to be another one. There will be more things involved as we go along, but this is the one we are covering today. So as I said, all you need is a penny and a comfortable pair of shoes because you're going to be doing a little bit of walking, not a lot. I'm not going to ask you to walk 3 miles, a mile, or anything like that. The only thing I will ask is that you do at least a block, because there's going to be things that you're going to need to pay attention to that you'll find out later on in this video. So before you start, you make sure you have your penny, a comfortable pair of shoes, and if you can, leave your electronic devices like your phone or MP3 player at home. If you must take your phone, put it on silent, and I will be explaining in here as we go along why that is. Okay? So now that you have your comfortable shoes for walking, and you have your penny in hand, what you're going to do is you're going to start out the door. Now, before you start walking, okay, you walk down your sidewalk. Now, before you decide to go right, left, or whatever direction, what you're going to do is you're going to take your penny and you're going to flip it in the air. And if the penny lands on heads, like this one did, as you can see, it's in heads, okay? Then you're going to turn left. If it lands on tails, you're going to go right. And if when you flip it and it lands on the ground and it spins, then you're going to go straight. Now, the reason why there's 3 choices, because you may live on a street that's not around the block, or you may want to do more than a block. You might want to just kind of walk for a little bit. Well, in that case, that's why this, it's left, right, or straight. So each one represents a different direction. As I said, heads, you go left. If it lands on tails, you go right. If it spins on the ground when you flip it, then you're going straight. Okay, now, but keep one thing in mind when you do walk. You're not just going to walk. Now, remember earlier when I had just stated to try to keep your electronics at home? Well, this is going to be the reason why. During your walk, you're going to want to pay attention to the different things. You're going to let your senses work. your sight. I want you to notice things that you haven't noticed before in your day-to-day activities. Take time. Look around. Don't just walk the block or however the distance. The point of this walk is to help you to relax and unwind. And the only way you're going to do that is by taking in good things, getting good thoughts in your head. So when you walk, you're going to look. You want you to pick up things you never noticed before. It could be a simple thing. It could be a flower growing in a sidewalk that you never noticed before. Or just something simple like your neighbor growing a new plant or anything like that. You pick up on things that you don't normally look at. In other words, you're not just going to look straight ahead when you walk. You're going to turn and look in different directions and notice your surroundings. Okay? Now, you're not just going to just look. I also want you to use your other senses as well. What things do you hear? Use your hearing. Listen to things that you've never heard. Do you hear birds in the sky? Or maybe crickets chirping? Or maybe a car going by? Listen to things intently. Let your senses be fully activated. So far we covered your sight and your hearing. You're going to smell things. Go and take a deep breath in and let it out through your mouth. That's a form of relaxation, but you're also soaking up the different scents. If a car goes by, can you smell the smell of the exhaust? Or maybe somebody just mowed their lawn, and smell of the fresh cut grass. A lot of people don't notice simple things like that. If it's a lot of times people don't even realize you can smell the air, and people don't realize that, but you can. For instance, if it's going to rain, you can smell the rain in the air. Okay? The air has different scents. This is why you use all of your senses. Most of the time, 99% of the people don't use all their senses that we're given. We're so busy and in a rush for things that should register with us don't. The simple joys don't register because we don't take time to let it register. The point of this challenge is to do just that. Take the time when you walk. You get stressed out, no problem. Pick up your penny. Put a good pair of comfortable shoes on. Take a walk. Look around. Use your sight. Listen. Use your hearing. Smell the different things that's in the air, whether it's exhaust or flowers. If you see somebody growing a rose, don't go and pick the rose, but go over and enjoy the smell of the rose. There's an old saying that says, stop and smell the roses. Well, in this case, that's what we actually want to do. We want to stop and smell things in our walk. We want to use all of the senses that we have if possible. Okay, so we covered your sight, your hearing, and your smell. Okay? Now we're going to go by feel. Walk on the grass, maybe. Think about how it feels walking on the grass. Think of how it feels walking on the concrete. You see a flower, you don't have to pick it. Feel the petal and think how soft that petal is. Feel what's around you. Okay, the only sense we're not going to be using in this walk is your taste. But you want to use all you can. Of course, you can't go and eat a flower. You want to just be realistic, but you want to take time and notice different things through sight, hearing, smell, through your senses. Learn your surroundings that way. An interesting fact that you may not know. It is a proven fact that somebody that is blind, their other senses will pick up. Their sense of smell, their sense of hearing, their sense of taste, all that increases because they don't have their sight. Same thing with hearing. People that are deaf, their vision picks up, their sense, their taste. That's why you want to learn to use all your senses. And that's what this penny watch challenge is to get you to take time out and notice the good things that's there. Because once you notice the good things in your surroundings and you start thinking positively about what you see, hear, smell, feel, that will overtake the anxiety. And then the anxiety will dwindle until it's nothing. Now, in the beginning, I said I'm not going to tell you how far to walk. But this is the reason why I said make it at least a block. Because if you're just going down the street and back, you're not really using your senses the way you should. And it's going to take a little bit more time than that for this to work. That's why you want to do at least a block. Now, before I lost my late husband, I was married for 30 years before I lost him to cancer. But we had a very, very good communication method for when we got upset with each other or we weren't having a good day. We didn't say, if you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all, or just agree to disagree. We didn't have that saying. What our saying is if you can't talk, then walk. And I remember there was one time I was upset. I don't remember what it was about. But I knew I was tense inside. And if somebody said something, I would probably blow up at them, and it wouldn't even be their fault. So I had a friend that had a horse. Now, to get to my friend, I would have to go through the woods, and follow a path to their house. Now, let me tell you, that wasn't bad. For those that don't know, I'm legally blind. So my sight is not going to pick up what a lot of people would do. But I can tell you, during that walk to their house, my hearing, I picked up crickets, I picked up birds, I picked up the sound of running water, and believe me, if you can go by a river or a stream and just listen to the flow of the water, that is so relaxing. Okay? I would go through that and I would start feeling a little bit more relieved. As I walked up to the trail and approached its horse, now I knew I was going up to the horse, so I always bring the horse treats, whether it was an apple or a carrot. And I would let him know, the owners know ahead of time that I was coming, and they would have the things I needed to take care of the horse already. But I would go and I would feed the horse a carrot. And when I fed it a carrot, I could smell the scent of the field. I felt the horse, which is the sense of touch. So I still used my senses. And as I brushed the horse, the horses have sense. I could smell that. And before you knew it, I couldn't even remember what I was upset about. And that's another reason for this walk, is because most of the time when we get stressed, excuse me, my throat is scratchy. Most of the time when we're stressed, we forget about all the good things. So when we take a walk and we use our senses, it reminds us of all them good things. And then before you know it, we don't remember what we're upset about. And people that struggle with anxiety and stress on a day-to-day basis, this is hard for them. Now, I know in the first one I've talked about the game. Well, the game is good. But there may be times when the game's just not good enough. You're still stressed out after trying that maybe for 20 minutes to a half hour, whatever. But you're still feeling tense and stressed. That's when you go into another technique. Now, it may take 2, it may take 3 techniques. That's why I want to teach them. Sometimes it may take a whole bunch of them during the day. Other days it may only take 1. But this way you have the tools to help fight. And they're natural tools. You don't have to worry about side effects. I mean, don't take me wrong. If you're on medication for anxiety, stress, or anger, or any issue like that, by all means, do not stop taking your medication. This is just to help to manage it better. So this is why I want to do, I've covered different mental illnesses. I've done interviews with people struggling with them so everybody knows what it's like to live with a mental illness. But now it's time to teach techniques that help deal with some of them. Right now, the only techniques I'm going through are techniques for anger, anxiety, and stress. Later on, I will do techniques and other things, but these are the simple things because a majority of the people out there that have any type of mental illness suffer from anxiety disorders. So they're stressed quickly. So these are some good tools to help relieve that stress because if you're fighting, it's bad enough that you have to fight every day with a mental disorder. But for those that don't know, most mental disorders normally involve other disorders like anxiety and stress. Okay? If you look back in my series, just about every one of them has anxiety and stress in them. So to make your disorder more manageable, this is like your ground floor. Fighting the stress and anxiety is your base level. And then we can work up to the different levels for the different mental illnesses. But we need to build a foundation. So our foundation is going to be techniques on how to manage anxiety, stress, or anger. And with each of these techniques, like I said, you may need to do 2 or more, or sometimes, depending on your level of anxiety, stress, and anger, you may only need to do 1. I'm not a doctor, and I am not you. So I don't know. You know you better than anybody else. When I did my first one of my most loyal subscribers told me that this is good, but this doesn't always help. And it's true. There's days when just simple one simple technique is just not enough. So that's why I'm going to build a bunch of do a lot of different techniques with you. You can mix and choose as you like, as you feel they'll be helpful for different times and different situations. And as I said before, there may be some days when just one of them will help. There may be, other days when maybe you need to do all of them in one day, you know, because each day there's going to be different levels of stress, anxiety, or anger. So that's why I want to give you these tools. Okay? So now you have it. So now here's the challenge. I challenge each and every one of you out there that suffer with either anxiety, stress, or any type of anger issue to apply one or more of these techniques. Now, when you apply them, this is what I'm asking in return. You can do it through a comment on that video after you tried it. You can message me on Instagram or Twitter or on Messenger and let me know what techniques worked for you. How many did it take for you to get to a comfortable point? Start with the first one with the gameplay. Let me know, hey, this gameplay helped. It relieved a little bit of stress, but it wasn't enough. Then you can go to this one. You don't have to watch the full video after you watched it again. After you watched each video the first time, if you want to put a comment on it again to let me know how it helped you, if it helped, then just put it on pause and go to the comments. That's fine, because you've already made a comment, which means you've already watched. Now, I do ask each and every one of you that watch these to watch them to the end. Not just the mental health videos, but the technique videos, because they teach different techniques. Each individual video on its own is important from beginning to end. The same thing with the interviews. In the mental health videos, you have to watch them from beginning to end to get the full meaning and understanding that needs to be said for each one. So I challenge you, yes, you out there, here's a penny, to do a penny walk and let me know. How was a penny work? Did it help you? Let me know what it was like using all your senses, how you felt after you took that time and used all the senses that you could, your sight, your smell, your touch, your hearing. Let me know how it helped you, or if it didn't help you, but how you felt after you took that time to let your senses build instead of do a regular just walk. Now remember, you can't just do a regular walk. You have to stop during your walk, even when, like if you're walking left, halfway doing your left while you walk, look to the right, look to the left, look around you and look slow. Take in the sight. Breathe in and breathe out. Don't just do it once, do it more than once. The breathing is actually good for you, physically and mentally. So take a good deep breath in through your nose, let it out through your mouth. Tell me what scents that you pick up with your smells. Listen, don't hear. There's a difference between hearing and listening. Hearing, you hear what somebody says, but you don't catch everything. Listening, you're taking time and you're hearing everything. So you want to not just hear, you want to listen to what's out there for sounds. Whether it's a bird, okay? Feel. Get down, feel the grass. See what it feels like. Walk on it. Tell me what it feels like to walk on it. Use your senses to the full capacity. And I can guarantee you, you may not feel completely better, but I can almost guarantee you that you will feel different, at least a little bit closer to feeling better. But like I said, you may need to do more than one. So remember, I challenge you to do the penny walk. And until I see you again, remember, always see with your heart and not your eyes, because what your eyes see isn't important. What truly matters is invisible to the eye, because only the heart can see it. So remember, you out there, you're important to me. You matter, and I love you for you. So, bye for now.